The Good Dinosaur. Yes, that's right, folks. Dino Summer is continuing. And this time around, we are talking about our first Dino Summer movie about talking dinosaurs. We have surprisingly covered a lot of dinosaur movies on this channel, including The Land Before Time and We're Back. But let's talk about the most modern talking dinosaur movie. Is it? Is there another one that's come out recently of talking dinosaurs? I can't remember. Whatever. It's The Good Dinosaur. This is the first Pixar movie we are covering on Movie Tales. I rarely get to talk about Pixar. For a lot of reasons, I don't think they're particularly great right now. There's a lot of interesting choices being made with that company that I'm not a big fan of. Elio looks pretty cool, so I do want to see that. And I don't know. Toy Story 5 soon. I'm of the generation that was born and raised on Pixar. I am in my 20s and I grew up with them. But this is one of the later Pixar movies. It's a decade old at this point, but it's in that moment in time where I'm coming out of high school and I'm like, I'm okay. I don't have to see every animated movie that comes out. Saying that, I did see this movie though when it came out, and it's the only time I saw it before. I distinctively remember sometime when I went to see this, I was having a very bad week or a very bad day, and this movie just made me feel really sad and depressed about the state of the world and myself. It it was weird because I'm like, this is pretty good, but watching it this time for this video, I don't really love it. I don't think it's terrible, and personally, it's not the worst thing that Pixar's ever made, but I can't sit here and tell you it's great. I think I was just in the right headspace 10 years ago when I was just feeling myself and the world around me. But this isn't great. Which is, it's fine, you know? They're not all going to be winners. Sometimes you just get stuff. Here's the premise of this movie if you don't know it. It opens up with the asteroid that's going to hit Earth, but then it doesn't hit Earth and it bypasses. So the dinosaurs exist millions of years later, and they start to farm. This is about the Old West. It's about settling in the Old West. And I don't understand that, because that is such a human thing. I know it's a metaphor, but I'm like, it doesn't really work when you have dinosaurs already existing. Like the globe we see at the beginning, or I guess Earth, it's not really a globe, but it's just like, here's the Earth. Pangea already split apart. So these dinosaurs are already existing in like the Old West at this time. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. It follows newlyweds. I can't remember their names, but they're like brontosauruses or something. And they have 3 children. You know, one of them's pretty tough and he's going to be just like his dad. One of them's like a sly girl. And then there's the runt of the litter, Arlo. And Arlo is small and he's nervous and he's afraid of everything. When the family just goes to do their normal chores, Arlo's screwing up. If you want to see dinosaurs farming and growing crops and watering crops and building a silo to store their grain, this is the film that does it. Which I don't know if that's appealing to children. I really don't. Like, I understand taking like a real world concept and turning it on its head, but is farming and being like, we have to get enough corn to survive the winter, is that appealing to children? I don't know that. So they build the silo, and then Arlo's dad's like, you could put your mark on here. And every kid gets to put their mark up when they do something accomplished, but Arlo can't because he's scared of every living creature around him and being alone. He's scared of bugs. He's just annoyed by the world and freaked out by it. And his dad's like, Arlo, I know you're trying. You're clearly a broken boy, but I have something that can help. If you catch this varmint that's trying to like kidnap our food and steal it, then you could put your mark up with the rest of the family. So this is Arlo being like, I'm going to prove my dad right. And he finds the varmint that's stealing the food, and it's a boy, a cave boy. Every movie we've talked about so far has a caveman in it, and this one has a cave boy. And he's a dog. This is a boy and his dog story, but the boy is a dinosaur and the dog is a boy. Anyways, Arlo's dad is pissed off that he's not killing the varmint, so he's like, we're going to go hunt it down and kill it. Let's go kill it. So they head out into the woods, and then a big flood and a big storm comes, and Arlo's dad is pushing him too far. And it's really smart. I really like this moment. It's probably like the best moment of the movie, where the dad is like, holy shit, I'm traumatizing my kid right now. And he's like, it's okay. We've done enough. Let's go home. But then the dad gets trapped in a flood and he drowns. And then Arlo doesn't kill his dad, but because he was this thing, that stuff led to that stuff. And then he feels bad about it. So he's trying to help his mom more. And he wants to go kill the varmint, right? So him and the boy get into another fight. They end up in the river, washed away. And it becomes a story of Arlo and the boy trying to get back home, which is the least interesting part of this movie. It's more interesting when it's like the weird generational trauma being caused by this angry dad and like the people farming. If this was just a straight up Western and didn't get like the other weird stuff that shows up in here, it would be pretty good. It'd be better than what we got. But as it stands, Arlo's got a journey. It's a big, dangerous world out there, and he's got to get through it. I will say this about the animation, though. Like, Pixar's good at animation. I don't know if that's a hot take or anything. The backdrops are really nice. Like, they're so crisp. The water looks really good. Everything that way looks nice. But then it's just really animated, cartoony-looking dinosaurs, which I think works more than making them look too realistic. Because if they were too realistic, it's not going to emote well. We have 2 Lion King movies that show us that. Along the way, he runs into a couple of people, like this weird Triceratops-looking guy that's trying to camouflage into the trees. He wants to steal the boy. That's when Arlo names him Spot. They eat some berries and get high. Spot teaches him how to swim, and I'm like, what is happening? And then they learn about each other's dead family. So weird. It's so weird because it's a boy and a dinosaur, because the roles are reversed, you see. And that's where the comedy comes from. It's not unfunny. There's some jokes in here that I think would land. If you are a kid who likes dinosaurs, I think there's some stuff in here that's enjoyable. The designs are okay. But then for some reason it gets very Western-y. And I'm like, what is happening? Why are we watching Yellowstone Jr. right now? I don't understand that. He has to get back home. So he meets some like pterodactyls that like when there's a big storm, they supposedly come in and like help the people that are lost. Turns out they're a bunch of dicks and they're just like taking advantage of the wounded and like eating the critters that can't save themselves. So Arlo's like, don't eat my boy. I don't like that. So he tries to flee them. And that's when he runs into a brother and sister Tyrannosaurus Rex duo and their dad, played by Sam Elliott. And now the T-Rexes are cowboys. They're ranchers. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? It's so specific a joke. And it's not very clever, but I'm not against it. Like, the one T-Rex gets, like, their herd of, like, longhorns lost and they're wandering off, and we gotta go get them back before the what do they say? Like, the winged critters try to, like, steal them away. Like, they're poachers taking their stuff. Look, say what you will about Sam Elliott. I've never been the biggest fan. I think his persona is very obviously fake. And that gets you so much, you know? But he's really good at sounding like a guy who is a cowboy, even if he's not actually a cowboy. So him being like a gruff T-Rex works for me. They find the longhorn. Arlo has to be bait to lure out the poachers trying to take it. So like a big fight. Surprisingly violent, but again, it's dinosaurs. You want to see some destruction. That's my thought, at least. This is not a movie you show your young daughter, you know? This is a boy movie. If you want to like show your daughter or just like this small female in your life, your niece or your granddaughter or whatever, like a Pixar movie, this is bottom of the list. I think this in the Cars universe, it doesn't translate to female audiences well. Because what young girl wants to see some dinosaurs pretending they're cowboys riding a horse like they're running? The T-Rexes are running like they're on a horse. luring a bunch of like buffalo or whatever into like some location. It's like, this is nothing for nobody, right? It's so weird. And then Daddy T-Rex gives Arlo the lesson, like, it's okay to have fear. Fear's important for you, boy. But you gotta get through it nonetheless. There's a thing about conquering your fears or whatever, if that is a thing that happens in this movie. It's vague and it's hard to understand. Arlo realizes he sees the big mountain where his family is, so he's going to head that way. On his journey there, we see that Spot recognizes a couple more cave people, so maybe it's going to be a journey like, you have to go home too. Your family isn't with a big dinosaur. I got to let my dog be free, out into the wilderness. Go, go. It's the call of the wild. Woohoo. They're attacked by the pterodactyls again, and it's pretty interesting. Very violent, like Arlo kills one of them. I don't know, man. This movie's weird. I think there's something appealing to like you're lost out there, you have to get back home and do all that stuff, but maybe guising it through like a dinosaur themed thing in the Old West isn't the way to do it, because it's very strange. But I'm not gonna lie, the ending is very effective to me. When Arlo has to let Spot go, being like, you cannot stay with me, you have to go back to these people, this is your new family. And then Arlo makes it home, and his mom sees him while she's like dying in the crop field, like, oh my god, it's my son. It's effective. I think that's a very strong ending for this movie, because he did it. He conquered his fears. He learned to like beat up people and be strong and become like a real man. Even though earlier on in the movie, the lesson is kind of like, well, okay, it's not really like a lesson, but Arlo says to his dad, like, I'm not like you. And his dad's like, you are like me, and then you're more things. It's like, well, you shouldn't force your kid to be something he doesn't want to be. But the lesson of this movie kind of becomes, you have to be tough. It's the Old West, goddammit, you have to be tough. And I'm like, no, that's not the lesson we should learn. That's not what we should be doing here. I don't know. Look, I like the designs. The dinosaurs look pretty cool. Like, they look tough and interesting. A lot of them are depicted as psychopaths, but none of the, like, villains, per se, are stereotypical, like, Western villains. Like, you know, Native Americans or anything. That never comes up, which, thank God. I just completely understand why this falls flat to everybody, because this makes no fucking sense unless you are like me and you're like, I don't know, dinosaur, cowboy, interesting. It's not the worst Pixar movie. It's just not. Is it the worst dinosaur movie we've talked about in Dino Summer? Well, it's in the bottom two. This movie's bad. No, it's not in the bottom two. This is better than Land of the Lost. That one was a piece of shit. But this is boring. So there's that, but it looks okay. Anyways, that's The Good Dinosaur. Cute movie, I guess. I don't know. Thank you all for watching this rendition of Fantastic Tales. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.